My name is Madison Barra, and welcome to my podcast, where it's all about teaching you how to lose weight, keep it off, and actually enjoy the process. I've lost over 70 pounds, and these are the failures and lessons I've learned along the way. Hope you enjoy and subscribe. So today I'm going to make this nice and quick. This is a cool little lesson I learned over the weekend that I wanted to share with you. It's so funny. I'm in a really good place right now, and I feel like I'm aligning with the universe. And when that happens, little nuggets kind of present itself. And this was a great example of that. So I wanted to share this little weight loss epiphany I had over the weekend. And basically over the weekend, I was at a bachelorette party, and it was a bunch of my really good girlfriends who I've known since we were like little kids. So it was really awesome. I had a great time. And for this bachelorette, we went to a winery one of the days, and we had a little wine tasting. Now, the master seller, he came over, he presented us one of the bottles and started to tell us about it. And he started to mention how this particular wine, they plant the vines pretty close together because they actually like the stress of kind of competing with one another. And he said this grape grew better and produced sweeter wine under stress. And so they actually facilitated stress with the vines to create better wine. And I thought that was so cool. To get a better product, they had to actually put their seeds, their grapes, their vines under more stress. And I just immediately, when I heard that, I drew an instant parallel to life and your weight loss journey. And I pulled out my phone, I pulled out my notes. I keep notes on my phones when inspiration strikes. And I put it in my phone to talk about this later. And my girlfriends were laughing at me, but I thought it was so cool. And there's a little saying that, people at the winery were saying, and it was a little struggle a little struggle on the vine makes the best wine. A little struggle on the vine makes the best wine. And it was it's kind of beautifully encapsulated kind of what your journey in weight loss should be. If it's easy, if it's fast, if we skip a couple of obstacles or learning experiences, we never really keep the weight off. And so without struggle, you don't find your strengths. And your strengths are what make you you. And your strengths are what give you confidence and self-esteem and self-efficacy. So without struggle, we don't get the sweetest wine in our lives. We don't reap the sweet benefits. And it's so funny because we avoid struggle like the plague. We want to skip the painful moments. We want to skip the failures. We want to skip what we think are steps backwards. But really, this is actually developing us. And I heard a really cool quote, and it was, life is like photography. Use the negatives to develop. That's what it is. You'd be a boring, bland person if you didn't have your fair share of struggles, because you'd have nothing to share, nothing to show, and you wouldn't have any depth to your character. And that's exactly what this master seller was telling us about his grapes. And it was such a cool concept, because life is 10% what you make of it and 90% how you take it. 10% what you make it, 90% how you take it. And so if these vines needed stress to become sweeter and produce sweeter grapes, then can't we facilitate the same in our life? Instead of running from the struggle and trying to avoid the struggle, can't we actually put it into our lives? Actually not go out of our way to avoid it? Maybe go out of our way to actually put it back in our lives? Because maybe because we've been trying to skip the struggle, we've actually taken longer on this journey. Maybe we're not where we want to be, or you couldn't stay where you wanted to stay when you lost the weight because you didn't actually develop the deep character needed to sustain those results, or needed to power on through and make it a sustainable lifestyle change instead of a quick fix. Maybe we haven't been facilitating stress in our lives, and therefore we don't get to experience the sweet results, or we don't get to experience the sweet results very long. And it's so cool. I just thought it was so cool. I was like a nerd freaking out, typing in my phone, making sure I remember this. I really think if we place stress into our lives, it changes you. And then you start to enjoy the journey instead of rushing through the journey or reaching a goal and not appreciating it and then losing that goal where we could only, taste it for a second. You see, I chose to go into health in my life because I thought, you know what? If I have people looking up to me, if I label myself as healthy, as a leader of health, as somebody who does this stuff second nature, if I label myself like that, I won't want to not be that. I'd be embarrassed to act against it. I'd be afraid of judgment to act against it. I'd disappoint myself if I acted against it. And so I placed that stress in my life. So I didn't give myself an option. So I did have more turmoil and battles in my head because I am the face of a weight loss company and I have thousands and one day millions of women that are going to watch me and they're going to cheer me on. And then there's going to be a bunch of them that are waiting for me to fail, waiting for me to slip up, waiting to see my cracks. But because I put myself in a position to be here, I know that I won't want to not be here. I know that all the journeys and the struggles that I've been through and will continue to go through in the face of my goal, in spite of my goal, because of my goal, are worth it. And they're going to make my goal worth it. It is not the goal that you want. It is the things you learn and develop to get to your goal. Because a nice, skinny, fit body feels good, but you know what else feels good? Proving that you can work hard, proving that you can be consistent, proving that you can be disciplined, proving that you can do things that other people will not, proving that you can prove people wrong. Becoming the type of person that wakes up and does shit anyway. Because that's what this is all about. What makes you different? What makes you special? We all have very common struggles and emotions that we experience, but what are yours that set you apart? It's the struggles that develop our strengths, and our strengths are what make us different and set us apart. And if you don't have the struggles to help you pinpoint what those are or showcase them to you or strengthen some weaknesses that you didn't know were there, then you're not very different than those around you. It's the struggles that make you beautiful, right? What's a striking beauty when you look at somebody's face? It's freckles. It's big eyes. It's maybe a tooth that's off balance. It's like the one thing that's super unique that makes people stand out. And we try to cover those uniquenesses, or we try to not have them and fit in as much as possible. But it is the stress that develops the strength. Really quick, you guys know that I do not run any ads or try to sell you anything on this podcast. The only thing that I would ever ask of you is that you help me spread the word so that I can help more women lose weight, keep it off, live a healthy life, and love themselves in the process. And the only way that we can make that happen is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing that I would ask from you is if you could please leave a review. It'll take about 10 seconds. It would mean the world to me, but more importantly, it could change the world for somebody else. Back to the podcast. So I'm encouraging you right now, put yourself through more struggles when it comes to your weight loss. I'm sure you're not short of any struggles in life. Life is full of struggles. But when it comes to your weight loss, the pain and the struggles that you have with you right now because of it, they were probably showing up because we tried to avoid them in the first place. The struggles that you've experienced with weight loss are not intentional struggles. They were the side effect of trying to do a quick fix, of not taking your time choosing the right coach or the right program, of being really upset at yourself and desperate and choosing something really fast, or wanting to see results very quickly, which isn't a bad thing and it is very doable. But if that's the only thing, motivating you, then we get in trouble, and then we stumble and we fall and we roll all the way back down the hill instead of just a couple steps back. And so the struggle, what I'm talking about with your weight loss, the struggles we've had with our weight loss, a lot of the time they showed up because we were actually trying to avoid struggle. Now, there are a couple struggles that showed up because, we earned those scars, right? I want you to earn those scars. They were intentional. I put myself in the line of fire to make myself learn how to fight. Do you know how to fight for your goals? Do you know how to stand up for your goals? Do you know how to put yourself first? Do you know how to prove to other people that you will continue to put yourself first, even when there is pressure, even when there is doubt, even when it is not easy? Those are the type of struggles that we should be developing, the character traits that we should be developing that only happen through tough times when we're butting heads. Because it is not noble for somebody who doesn't know how to fight to not get into that fight at a bar. That's not noble. What's noble is the kung fu master or the jiu-jitsu champion not engaging in the fight at the bar because they could, and they could do some damage, but they had the restraint. They know how powerful they are, so they don't have to show their power. They don't have to peacock their power. There is nothing noble about losing weight if we lost it without struggle, because you didn't really learn how to lose it. Life was just easy at that point in time. Or we were able to stay motivated because it was a quick fix or a vacation was coming up, something like that. There's nothing noble in a husband not cheating if he's never been tempted. Because if he's been tempted, he would cheat, right? There's nothing noble in somebody who's like that, right? Same thing with anything, any character trait. It's not how it's not I'm disciplined and I'm not disciplined. It's how disciplined are you? There's levels here. It's a sliding scale. And it's not about getting the things. It's about how you got the things. And that is what I'm so big on in Tremera. It is, what are you gaining as you lose? Because I just did another episode the other day, another little talk about how you can't call weight loss, because mentally, when we say we lose things, we try to find them again. So if that's true, you're now putting yourself mentally and subconsciously in a deficit. And if you're putting yourself in a deficit, as humans, our bodies are like, oh, we're losing something, we have to fill it or we have to find it. What have we been filling it with? And that's where this journey and those character traits come into play. That is what we're trying to fill this with. And so to wrap this up all really nicely in a bow, the struggles you are going through, be patient, accept them, welcome them, and the sweetness will come. Your life will be sweeter. The results will taste sweeter. Do not skip that part. You will keep causing the wrong type of struggles on this journey. Every struggle you have gone through on your weight loss journey, if you can't look back and say, that's why it happened, or yes, this is what I learned from it, or I know why this happened now. If you can't do that with every struggle you've been through on your weight loss journey, that wasn't the type of struggle you needed. That was a struggle that came from a scarcity mindset of, I need to reach these goals now. I need to reach these goals now. I need to lose this weight now. Yes, you do need to lose the weight now. Yes, it is doing horrible things staying on you, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Yes, no one's fighting that point. What we need to do is, if we're losing this, what are you gaining? And the struggles are going to give us what we gain. You cannot lose weight without a struggle, because then you are just constantly losing in your life. We don't want to be in a state of loss. We want to be abundant and overflowing. And then we're able to appreciate the struggles instead of resent them. Because it's one thing to be upset that we're struggling. Then it's another thing to be upset that we're upset about struggling. And then it's an endless cycle of just being angry that I'm angry. I'm mad that I failed. When failure is hard enough to cope with. Now you can't be mad about how you feel, upset about how you feel. Struggle is so beautiful. It is so necessary. Even the grapes need it. Even the vines need it. We are no different. We are all on the same earth. We thrive under stress. So put more of it in your life. More of the good stress in your life. More of the intentional stress. And that way, we're actually gaining and profiting from that struggle. It wasn't for nothing. It didn't just feel like crap. Nothing is in vain. Nothing is in vain on your weight loss journey. There's always something to gain from it. If we're losing weight, we should be gaining something in return. It's a zero-sum game. And in fact, over time, we actually should be gaining more. because we kind of compile this evidence in this file of struggles. And then and it's kind of like your struggles are your armor. And then everything that eventually starts to happen to you, every little slip up, an obstacle, a little failure, every time something doesn't go according to plan, guess what? Been there, done that. You just dust it off, get back in the game. The reason it's so hard to get back on track fast is because the struggles we've gone through, we either haven't gone through enough of them because we've been avoiding them, or we've gone through the wrong ones because we've tried to avoid them again. So if you want sweeter results, you got to go find the stress. If you found this podcast valuable, I hope you can leave a 5-star review. And if you want to learn more about how to lose weight fast and for good, visit Tremera.com. Thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode.